With a face for radio and a voice for newspapers, it's the Walt Bonetti Podcast.
Welcome to episode 42 of the Walt Bonetti Podcast for March 15th. The Walt Bonetti Podcast is brought to you by the Original Italian Pie of Kenner, 3600 Williams Boulevard, just a little bit north of West Esplanade. You can dine in or call them 469-4999 and they'll have your order ready for pickup, or they will deliver to your home or your office, or you can order online at orderitalianpie.com. On today's podcast, bike groups want auto-free streets in New Orleans. A Louisiana school board approves a 4-day week. An Italian court is our dumbass of the day. A woman on Bourbon Street demands a really stiff drink. And is Louisiana headed for another fiscal cliff? But first, these quick hits. Yeah, we better watch out, or Louisiana could be headed for another financial crisis. Another fiscal cliff. The state has accidentally paid out double tax refunds for almost 66,000 taxpayers in the amount of $26 million. The state is in the process of contacting banks where funds were direct deposited to reverse the funds, and refunds sent to debit cards will be, quote, backed out. I don't know what that means, backing out funds from a debit card, but the state's going to try to do it. So here we have a state that had a over $300 million surplus last year, but still had to approve a tax increase. And we still don't know how big that surplus was. 300 million? 301 million? 350 million? 400 million? How much was it? Yet the governor has already proposed a budget illegally because he doesn't know how much money he has to spend for the next year. But he already did a budget against the Constitution. What are we doing here in Louisiana? Forget the surplus. Forget the fiscal cliff. Just send me more refund checks. I want more than one. Send me 5. That'll make me happy. The Avoyelles Parish School Board voted to move to a 4-day school week beginning in the fall. Kids will go to school Tuesday through Friday. Allegedly, the school board is doing this to be able to recruit better teachers. I don't know how that logic works. Working 4 days is going to make them better? But what about parents? How will this impact childcare on the 5th day? How will this impact kids on Mondays when parents have to go to work after the weekend? What about the added cost to parents? How was that factored into this equation? And where is the data that shows going to school 4 days a week on Tuesday through Friday is better for kids and improves their learning? Where is that data? Because that's what we should be seeing, and that's what we should know. And if that's the case, why did 2 of the 9 school board members vote against this? Look, it's great that you think out of the box and you want to recruit better teachers. But what about the impact on the children? And what about the impact then on the parents, who are the taxpayers, who are the stakeholders in your school system? Where's the data that shows this is better? Because I haven't seen it. We have an update to a story that we told you about a month or so ago. Do you remember the Minnesota man that checked his elderly wife out of a nursing home because she wanted to die at her own home? The couple then had a sex-filled party, including meth and 80s heavy metal music. The woman died after the party. Dwayne Arden Johnson, the husband, has been charged with criminal neglect, receiving stolen property, and third-degree murder for providing the drugs that caused his wife's overdose death. JPSO has charged a former Outback Steakhouse manager on suspicion of theft after he is alleged to have stolen $70,000 from the restaurant and spent it on his English-turned home. Zachary Addison was terminated prior to his arrest after Outback officials discovered the money missing. Addison is alleged to have paid for landscaping and plumbing services at his home with the Outback money. $70,000 is a lot of bloomin' onions. A New Jersey teen who overcame homelessness and poverty has been accepted to 17 colleges. 17-year-old Dylan Chittick didn't let obstacles stand in his way. Quote, I have to have a lot of determination. There's been a lot of people saying, you're not going to achieve this. Me getting these acceptance letters verifies what I have been saying, that I can do it and I will do it. Dylan, who moved to the U.S. from Trinidad at age 7, is also class president and a member of the National Honor Society. Good for him. And now this. It's the weekend, and you want to eat some great food. So think about the Original Italian Pie of Kenner. They're at 3600 Williams Boulevard, just a little bit north of West Esplanade. You can dine in, or you can call them, 469-4999, and they'll have your order ready for pickup, or they'll even bring it to your home or your office. It's that simple. Or you can even order online at orderitalianpie.com. Whether you want some great wings or hummus or stuffed mushrooms or a salad, a sandwich, a calzone, a wrap, incredible pasta, or pizza, you can get it all at the Original Italian Pie of Kenner. 3600 Williams Boulevard, just a little bit north of West Esplanade. Like I said, dine in or call them, 469-4999, and they'll have your order ready for pickup, or they will deliver to your home or your office. Or you can order online at orderitalianpie.com. It's really that simple to eat great food, but you have to think about the Original Italian Pie of Kenner.
Now, say my name.
Walt Bonetti.
Welcome back. Thanks again for spending part of your day with the podcast. You know, I don't want to whine, but with all of the issues facing New Orleans, crime, the perception of crime, unsolved homicides, rickety streets, poor drainage, woeful infrastructure, dependence upon the tourism and hospitality industries, poor education, I could keep going, but I think you get the picture. The push for bike safety and a car-free city is mind-boggling to me. Yes, it's sad that 2 bicyclists were killed. Yes, it's sad that there have been other incidents too. But having bike lanes wouldn't have stopped the most recent incident. Those bicyclists were killed by a drunk driver. Now, some bike groups and New Orleans City Council members are calling for streets to be blocked to vehicle traffic, allowing bike-only streets around City Park for Jazz Fest and in the French Quarter and for other events. As I've said, bike safety is a great concept, and we need to be aware of everyone who is using our streets, whether they're a pedestrian, a vehicle, a motorcycle, a truck, or a bike. But bike-only roads are ridiculous. And we're getting way, way ahead of ourselves. Several months back on the radio, I told you about a U.S. Department of Census community survey where it showed between 2010 and 2017 that bike commuters in New Orleans doubled from 2,639 to 5,129. But still, that's a far cry from auto commuters, which were 134,000 in 2017. In fact, while the number of bike commuters doubled as a percentage, in real numbers, the number of auto commuters increased by 3 times the total number of bike commuters. Of the 5 commuting methods listed in the survey, auto commuting, public transportation, working at home, walking, and bicycling, bike commuting was a distant last, less than 1/2 of 4th place. So, why the fuss about bikes? Instead of auto-free streets, why don't we designate bike-free streets? Because there's too much auto traffic. Wouldn't that make things safer for bike riders if they knew they couldn't and shouldn't be on certain streets because it was too dangerous for them? We as a nation are bending over backwards for these small groups of people. 175,000 people commute to New Orleans daily for work. Yet we're going to have auto-free streets to placate 2% of the commuting population? How does that make sense? When 70% of commuters commute via auto transportation and 2% commute to work via bikes, why should we be changing anything? Yes, let's make it safer. Yes, we have to make things safer for everyone, but we can't change everything for 2% of the population. We can't do it. New Orleans can't afford it. Yet you have politicians out there trying to get every vote and trying to be everything to everyone. We can't do that. Whether it's our country or our state or the city of New Orleans, we can't be all things to all people. There's just not enough money.
Now, the Walt Bonetti Podcast Dumbass of the Day.
An Italian appeals court has overturned a rape verdict. Their reasoning? The woman who was attacked was too ugly to be a credible rape victim. An all-female appeals court jury actually overturned the verdict, which the Italian version of the Supreme Court then annulled the overturning. Rape is a brutal act, and you shouldn't be degraded based upon what you look like. There's enough shame in rape to not have to go through that as well. And this all-female jury should have been a lot more sensitive. So, for telling a rape victim that she was too ugly to be raped, this all-female Italian appeals court jury are our dumbasses of the day. A patron at the Funky 544 bar on Bourbon Street got upset about the amount of liquor in the drink that she received. She complained about the weak drink and was told by the bartender that if she wanted more liquor, she'd have to pay more money. She continued to complain and was asked to leave the building. Well, she left, but then came back and threw a metal shaker at the bartender. NOPD has a surveillance photo of the unidentified woman who demands a stiff drink, among other things. Well, that puts a wrap on today's podcast. If you have any comments, questions, suggestions, story ideas, please email waltbradio@gmail.com. That's waltbradio@gmail.com. Please support our sponsor, the Original Italian Pie of Kenner, 3600 Williams Boulevard. You can dine in or call them 469-4999, and they'll have your order ready for pickup, or they'll deliver it to your home or your office, or you can order online at orderitalianpie.com. As we tell you every day, please go out and be a blessing. You have the whole weekend to change someone's life, or change multiple people's lives, or change your own life. You can do it. You really can. Thanks for listening, and enjoy your weekend.
Walt Bonetti.